Hello everybody, this is a video on how to open a Amazon Firestick. It's got the Alexa, the volume buttons, and the mute. This is, I believe, one of the newer generations Firestick remote. I was having problems where it would start and stop intermittently, and then it decided to completely stop functioning the other day. I think there was something sticky that was in there. I tried to clean it using some cleaner. This shouldn't affect it, but it didn't work. The power button will turn on and off the television, and it will also power on and off my soundbar. The up and down buttons for the volume work, the mute button works, but the home button, back, options, play, pause, reverse, forward wouldn't work. The circle up, down, left, right wouldn't work, and the select wouldn't work. I tried putting in new batteries, that didn't help. I tried repairing, that didn't help. So I know that holding on the home button and then it would start flashing up here in the front for pairing mode. I know that was working. So because that was working, I know those buttons actually worked, but they weren't working with my actual unit itself. So I was trying to figure out if maybe there's something that's going on with it, maybe the RF inside or something of that sort wasn't working. So I figured I'd open it up, and because I couldn't find anything to open up this specific remote, I decided to make a video. I figured the remote doesn't work anymore anyway. It's not working at all, so there's no harm in if it gets damaged at this point, I'll have to replace it with another remote. So here we go. This is what happened. This is what I found. So of course you take off the battery cover in the back like normal. Take out your batteries, and it's got the indentation here and one here. I ended up prying them up with a very small flathead screwdriver, and I got it all to pop off and come off. Now once you remove this piece, the bottom part where the negative part of the battery goes in, it's stuck in there because it's loaded with a spring, and this is like a little top hat kind of thing that goes over the spring for the negative. So that was one thing that I figured out at that point, because it's soldered to the actual control board that's on there. The positive is not. It just pops right out. It's in a slot. What I didn't know is that there are some actual screws inside here that hold the piece together. And when I took it apart, those pieces broke. And I'm going to show you right now what those pieces are, and then we can go back to that. Okay, so with this being open, you can see there's a spring in here, and that spring is pushing up this little top hat that's going through there. So you're actually going to have to push this in, as you can see, and you have to get it out through that hole. Once you do that, this bottom portion will allow this to come up and out. The problem that I had is that I didn't know that there's two screws. There's a screw here and a screw here, and they're on this part here and here. And as you can see, there's these little stay tabs that pop in this section, and those are on the ring side. And this is just a little rubber, the little rubber mats that, you know, that have the little indentations, so that when you push on them, they push on the actual buttons themselves. Everything was clicking, the buttons were still working. Either way, the only way you can get to those is if you pop these tabs back out one by one. See if I can get them while I hold the camera here. And if you can see it, if I can get a better view here. All right. So you pop these tabs in here and here, and it pops out the ring. So they're one in like 2 for like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then like 8 and 10. And if you get those popped off, the ring will come out, and then the centerpiece will come out. And you can see the centerpiece has like a cross, which will go in here. But once that comes off, you can access these 2 holes that are right here and here, and those will take out these tiny little screws, which are those. I didn't know that those were in there because I couldn't find a video of how to put it together or take it apart. I don't know what you're going to need to get in there, what you can find small enough to get in there to pop these tabs back out, but you'll have to find something very, very small, maybe like an X-Acto knife or something like that. But that's what happened with me. So I broke those 2 pieces that are these screws that are holding it on, and they're there. So once I figured that out, then I just removed the screws with a very, very small precision Phillips screwdriver. And then I made sure that I brought the spring back in and removed the top hat. So what I did is I just took my small flathead, brought it in, let it pop up, let it come out. This just is held on with spring tension, so it just pops right out. See? So once that was there and these 2 screws were out, the control board just lifts up and away. And at that point, you can get in here and see what may be causing the issue on the back side. This did have some sticky stuff. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I cleaned it up already. I can't find anywhere where there's any bad solder or anything that seems to be loose, a chipset or anything like that. I already inspected it, and you can't really open up this piece for inspection because it looks like it may be glued down to the actual control board. But I cleaned up the contacts. I cleaned up the spring, made sure there was no break in the spring for the negative. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to put it back together and see if after, doing a little cleaning on the contacts and stuff like that worked. But I don't think it will, and I don't think it did. So what I'm going to do at this point is put it back together, see if it'll work. If it don't, I'll just go and buy a replacement. But I hope this helps somebody because I couldn't find anything online that would help me. So posting this on YouTube for someone that could possibly need it, and maybe they don't have something as big of an issue as mine. Maybe it's just a contact or some solder that may need to be reattached, and they can still save the remote and not have to spend it's like $30 or something like that for a replacement remote. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope it helps.